Alrighty. Good morning, early afternoon, evening. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I've made a little bit of progress with the new oil station for all the goodies. Let's see. I'm going to turn off fog. And I hooked it all up to power and just made a little outpost here. So I have a priority power switch, which now reminds me I should name this. And let's go to circuit breaker priority, and we're gonna put this under 3 because it is gonna end up being on one of the more important. I guess we'll put 4. It is gonna be important though, because this plastic is gonna feed the battery factory. That's the word I was looking for. So I definitely don't want it to end up shutting off anytime soon. So got them all hooked up. They've all got the recipes, and I've done a lot of the belt work. Left random holes in the floor, but I still have some to do here. And then I think I'm gonna add the top floor to the main factory. So these, I don't remember. What are these? So this is plastic, which makes sense. So this actually needs to get plastic from like way over there. So we're gonna do that last, because I think I want to figure out doing all the plastic first. And the hover pack does make moving around here a bit easier. Okay, so let's work our way down. That's kind of what I've been doing. So this is exporting the plastic. And this is the resin, right? Yeah. Okay. So let me pull up my spreadsheet real quickly, because I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head. There's too many. Okay, so this is going to be making 533. So it can all fit on one line, which is great. So just to make it more compact, I'm actually... Oh, hold on. So I think... Is this... Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is the plastic. So, and then I think it's going to feed into here, right? Yep. Okay. So we will have it all... I really should have actually named these so I could see it. I'm just lucky to remember which mergers first and then the splitter. So this just makes it so I don't have to stack them a million times and then delete them. Having the blueprint at the right height just makes it a little bit easier for me. So actually, this is going to be the only one that's facing this way. So it's going to come out here and then feed into those splitters. So I could keep it on the ground, but I'm going to... No, it's just easier. I can just keep this all up high, and then just the lifts have less to do. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to have them all feed this way. And now that line should line up, except for I lined it up with the wrong thing. So let's try that again. Let's see. No. line now? Alright, now I think we're good. Okay. So now I just gotta try to get it. I don't know what am I lining things up with? Strange, but we can deal with it. The nudge feature definitely does help. Let's see, did I? Yeah, that's right. Ah, one is off, that's why. Okay. That's why I'm getting so many different things to line it up with. Okay. And move it over. There we go. Cool. Okay. Easier now, especially now that I know it's like pretty much right on that center line. And then that's the last one. So the reason I space it, just you could put it one closer. The reason I don't is now I can just leave this last one, which I can't remember. These putting out, these all putting out 50. Okay. So it can be Mark 1, and then it's just a straight easy line. So okay, let's do all the lifts first, actually. Just get this out of the way. And now we're going to Mark 5 belt this all the way through. Cool. And then just to get it out of the way and make sure I get the spacing right, since I've done all the other pipes where I lined it up straight underneath it, I'm going to do the same thing here, which is really easy to do. And pretty space efficient, since I know I'm going to need to use a pump anyways, since I'm using buffers, and I'm pretty sure those kind of destroy the head lift that you have out of the machines. Not positive, but let's see. These are definitely going to have to be... Oh. Mark 2. Alright, so... the trick is you have to put one just on the ground, and then it'll snap. Because if you just try to line it up at the top, it won't. So... Alright, and then I'm just going to replace this section so it doesn't have the break in it, essentially. And then let's run all of these up to the top. And I can delete this extra end piece. So all of these, I think this is using 533 fuel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we put this one right here. I think that's too far. What is it? Yep. There we go. All right. That way it just kind of splits into both ends and yeah, I don't know. It seems to work better. But we'll see. All right. So with that done, let's switch back to actually let's just get rid of those. I think that is the weirdest commercial. Thanks, Spotify. All right, let's try it. Put it on that side since the other fuel's going to go to that row. And it just makes placing these splitters, I think, a little bit easier. Oh, wrong hotbar. There we go. So now we just got to get this lined up and facing the right way. There we go. All right, so 1 meter over that way, and cool, we're good on that side. So now, silly hover pack. All right, let's make sure that these are, yep, getting lined up right. Perfect. And then the last one doesn't need one. So these are all intaking 75. So these can all be Mark II. Hey, Tesla, how you doing today? Status is I've gotten all the machines placed in the new oil facility, and now we're just belting everything. How is your aluminum adventure going? Let's go this way, actually. Let's see where. Right there. And then bring this one up since it's that like awkward 1 meter off. Perfect. All right, so that takes the plastic and feeds it into these ones, which means these all spit out rubber. So let's double check, but that should be. Yep, intake the plastic, output the rubber. So now I just need to merge these ones. So this one, ooh. Which way do we want to go? I guess I would actually go this way and feed it in. Just have this one merge this way. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's see. How am I looking at? Good. Going to have to get quartz over. Yeah. 5-story factory. Nice. It's fun. I like going vertical with builds. It's definitely harder to do in the beginning, I feel, because you just don't have all the different ways to get up and down easily, and so it just makes going vertical a little bit harder. But once you do... Oh wait, I don't need that one. Okay, how much are these putting out? So you're gonna bring the quartz in by train? I've already forgotten. What is this? 150. Oh, so this is actually gonna have to be multiple, isn't it? This is... Oh yeah, this is putting out 1,066 rubber. Oh, I forgot. Oh well, that really doesn't change much. Okay, so that one's gonna go there. But let's just do all these first. Get this out of the way. Okay, so let's start from this end. So if these each put out 150, so it's 300, 450, 600. Oh, well, darn. It would be 750. Just leave that open. Alright, do I have... Ah, good. Thankfully, I've just left myself tons of building materials. Actually, why don't I just grab more? I'll probably need a bit of all of these. Okay, so I think I needed one more. So this is 750. So that means this line will go out that way. I guess this doesn't need to be Mark 5, does it? Oh, and actually I need to underclock this one. Organization, display. You were gonna belt it, but it's too far. Yeah, every once in a while, it's just like, it'd be easy. I only need one belt, and then it's kind of like, that's really far. And sometimes I like to just do it by train, just because I think the one train line looks nicer than running one belt. It's kind of silly because I guess you do use more energy, whereas belts don't cost you anything. But I don't know. I think that's part of the fun thing about this game is things looking cool is definitely part of it. It's not just a factory game. So, okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's do some math. So 7 times 150. But I need... How much? Numbers, where are you? 1,066.6666. So this last one, only needs to make 16. Cool. So that means this. Oh, I'll wait for the autosave. What's cool about the game is while planning how you're gonna bring it all together. Yeah, I totally agree. I actually really like the logistics part of the game. I think it's a lot of fun. Do the. I don't need that. Mark 3. Mark 1's fine. Same with up here. So this only needs to be Mark 3. Oh, whoops. Wait. Oh, there's 3 that go together. I'm silly. Okay, so 300. So these need to be Mark 4. Alright, there we go. Okay. And then let's do the pipe and get that out of the way. Yep. I think the one piece of advice I can give you with trains is they always take up more space than you think they're going to. So just give yourself plenty of space, because like things like, you know, pipes and belts can do a right turn with 2 meters. Trains need a 3x3 to make a right turn. So like everything just gets scaled up really huge once you need to start like moving around. And then putting it together only to find that something you didn't think about has to be fixed. Yeah. I know that problem really well. Because like things with the big main factory, I think in total I have too far. I think it's like 37 different recipes going on, and so obviously, it only works out if you actually input all the numbers into the spreadsheet correctly and have them do the math. And I remember like I built a whole thing and then just totally forgot to add in one cell, and so I just forgot that I needed like more than twice the amount of iron that I needed, which meant I needed way more smelters, and I didn't have enough space for that. And there's a lot of ways to totally screw up your planning and have to either redo it or just adjust on the fly. Oh, these are all the wrong pipe. Oh, let's delete this. I'd much rather it be one solid piece. Valid placement. Watching videos on trains, yeah, it's it's interesting. I really loved the trains, but yeah, just so many hours playing with trains and getting them to work. It's a lot of fun. Like, I really, really like using trains, but I also don't blame anybody who just says, screw it, I'm just going to use belts for everything. Because at the end of the day, that is your kind of limiting factor with how much you can transport per freight car on a train. Is you're limited by the two inputs and two outputs. But I don't know, I like the trains. I think they're great. All right, so let's get these facing the right way. And 1 meter out. Oh, that's actually the one that doesn't need one. Delete that. All right, so let's lay down all of our splitters. How many train lines do I have? That is a good question. I think there's only like 2 actually running right now. But I will have, let's see. This station has 3. So this one brings in the resin, and then that one's going to take plastic to the eventual battery factory. And this one's all going back to there. And then I think the home factory has like 5 train stations that I'll eventually have running. Maybe only 4. No, but I think it's 4 or 5. Did I do that right? All right. So I think these should all be intaking 75. It depends on the train. So, like, this blue train line only has polymer resin, and that's the only thing. This train is going to have, I just haven't figured out which thing is going where, except for this train, or this freight car loading platform is going to bring in the sulfur, and then these 5 are all taking, each one is going to have a different product going back to the home factory. So a little bit of both. A lot of the times it'll only have one product or item on like the whole train, but then sometimes I'll have one train have multiple train cars that each have a different one. I'll rarely mix it so that one freight car has 2 items, though. That I'll try not to do, because then you have to use the smart splitters, and it can just, I don't know, in my opinion, it's just more work. But, well, I've had a lot of coffee. I'll be right back. Use the restroom. Alrighty. Oh, just in time for autosave. Perfect. Alright, so thankfully, this math should be really easy. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means this line will feed 10 on this side. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that right? Did I place 15? I did. Right. I got it right. Okay, so that means this one. Just bring you over to here. Actually. I guess it would make more sense just to have these facing the other way, since that's where it goes. Let's just redo it. Doesn't take long. And then we'll have this one facing this way. Cool. So we can just delete this one. Mark 3. Mark 3. And this one is only mark 1. Thinking of making your logistics floors 8 meters tall. I highly recommend going at least 2. Like with this, I have 3, and down here, it seems like just the right amount. Like I don't feel like anything's. I mean, it definitely gets a little bit crowded, but not too bad. The nice thing with doing the 3 is the fluid buffers just barely, they just kind of clip just a tiny bit into the very top. So that's another nice thing with doing it 12 meters. But as long as you do at least 8, then you can get like storage containers and stuff down here too, I think. I think they'll more or less fit within. Yeah, it'll be kind of like the same thing. You'll cut just the very tops of it off if you need that for your like a logistics floor at all. But yeah, I would definitely say go at least the 8 meters. I am now pretty much mainly doing 12, and I was even thinking of doing on really, really busy floors, I may even do 16, but that's really where I'm doing like manufacturers and you're dealing with just so many different items. But yeah, I support that move. 8 meters is a good step up. Let's see. So these all take. Oh, is that one off? That one's off. Oh, which way? That way. There we go. Yeah, the other awkward thing I was just thinking is, yeah, when you only have 4 meters, you just really don't have a lot of room to play with because you can really only fit like one like splitter or merger, and the other one really kind of awkwardly clips in there. Whereas with the 8 meters now, all of a sudden you can fit 3, which is a huge improvement in my opinion. So where was I? Okay, so I think that gets. I think that's all the belt work for this. So that feeds all these machines. And then the outputs, which make it a little bit interesting. Actually, not really. Because what I can do is I can. Ooh. How do I want to do this? Well, I know I'm going to do the first ones on this side. Perfect. All right, so. Oh, yeah. So the battery factory needs 1,600. The 12 meters. 12 meters is nice. You can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the sixth one gets cut off. So it just gives you lots of freedom. And then what I'll usually do is I'll do, certain things I'll try to run just on the ground, and then other things I'll try to run on the floor. And then when I need a cross, then I just either go the next one down or the next one up, which is probably, I guess, not the most efficient for being able to like move around. I've seen people that basically try to do as much on the ceiling and then kind of bring it down as you need to, and then you can walk around the entire like bottom floor way easier. And I I think it looks really good too. I just it's more planning I think that I'm willing to put in. So how am I gonna do this? So I should figure out how much goes into this very last one. Let's underclock this the correct amount. Should still be copied. Hooray. Okay, so let's do some math. So 14 of them at 150. Put it. Oh, that's nice. So this last one needs to just. Oh yeah, put out 33 and a third. So 100 divided by 3. If you didn't know, you can actually do math in here. So if I wanted the 33.3 repeating, I can just do 100 divided by 3, which is nice. Cool. Okay, so that only kind of helps me. Well, then I think I'm just gonna have to split up one of them, which I guess isn't. It won't be that hard. The question is, how would I want to put it in? Split it up. Do I want to split it up here, or do I want to just split it up over there? That is... So ultimately, the way to get it the most even would be 400 in each of those containers. But these... And I guess I could do that, actually. So, you know, we're just gonna... It's gonna look kind of messy. But for my purposes, it's gonna work really well, I think. Famous last words. Alright, so 150, 300. So I only want 100 out of there. So where is... Oh, this is gonna get messy, isn't it? This sure is. Alright, so let's just deal with... How do we do this? Alright, so that puts out 150. So if I split this up 3 ways, that's 50. And that's 100. So that makes that 400. And then the other 50 go there. So now I have an awkward 350. Wait, no, I should probably make that mark 4. I'm just gonna do that. Actually, I think it can go one closer, can't it? Yep. Alright, so that means this one needs to be a splitter. And then more mergers. Let's just get those down. So this one can come out. These ones feed this way. Alright, so this has 350, so I just want 50 there. Oh, but now I need to... I need to sloppily add just one more merger in here, don't I? Or, yeah. Yeah, that's just the easiest way, I think, to make sure it splits the correct way. Alright, so 50 goes there, 50 goes there. 100 goes into here. Let's get all these. Ah, that's why it didn't line up. Okay, this needs to go... This is facing out. Like that. Okay, so... Cool, so that has its 400. Now... That's 100. There's the 150. Oh, so it's just this one. Wait. Oh, oh. That one did need to face. this way. Okay. All right, so man. Yeah. So yeah, that's 100. That's the 150. So this one. All right. So there's a 400 line. There's a 400 line. There's a 400 line. And then I need to make one more. Right? Yeah. So this one needs to get changed. Is that the right way? Nope. This way. Okay, so there's the 300. So I just need to do the splitter on this one. Alright, so there's 50 and there's 100. Perfect. And there is my... Yeah, this game is great. It definitely keeps me busy for hours trying to figure out. I have an idea now. How do I make it work? Okay, so how do I want? Oh, this one just feeds straight out. That makes it easy. I probably want to turn these around. That would probably make the most sense. How far can we go? I will just bring it to here for now. Alright, so let's just, the other three can all fit on this foundation. Can I reach that far? Nope. Ooh, the other items for the milestone? That's a good question. So I know I set up... I for sure have the fused modular frames. And then I just set up just a temporary manufacturer setup to do a couple hundred of the... like 200 of the supercomputers so that I could knock out that milestone. So those are actually probably done. I actually probably have everything for that milestone now. I wanted to get it out of the way because the main factory will make supercomputers, but I don't really want to put together a whole production line because I just need enough to make some Mark III miners to get that factory really up and running. And what was I looking for? Oh, it's the Mark IV, of course. I still don't understand why the items that you need for Mark 1, 3, and 5 all stacked to 200. but the belts that you need for 2 and 4 only stack to 100. I've always wondered. Alright, let's just drop off some of this so I can grab... Well, I don't need a crazy amount. I'm almost done belting all this, so... So I also added a road and a little truck stop because I only need 80 coal and like 80 sulfur to do the compacted coal to make the packaged turbo fuel that I want. So I figured I would just have a little tractor go from here and it'll drive all the way over and drop off the coal. And since I need so little, it can fuel itself with that node, which is always a fun way to do things. And since I need so little, I can just use the tractor. I don't need to use the huge truck. And the little tractors are cute. Little sugar cubes. Okay, so I need these ones. Let's just... I actually do not need that many. Well, actually, since I'm here, why don't I... You know what? Let's just store all this. And let's just see if I can turn in that milestone. Why not? Oh yeah, that's way more than I needed. Okay, so... this really silly setup is now done, so I can delete my shameful hand feeding. And that means they all got made. Okay, cool. So there's my few hundred supercomputers. So let's just go grab the fused modular frames, which is just a quick hypertube trip down here. After planning the aluminum, I looked forward and found I need a lot of other items to move into tier 8. Yeah. Yep. 5-4 factory. That makes sense. It's the... Yeah. It seems like each, phase of the game, it definitely kind of ticks up in complexity and what you need. But, man, yeah, once you get to the end game, things just really take a turn. Why? Oh, yeah, I forgot. I just dropped off casings to make these because I don't really need that many. I guess I should drop off more casings and it'll make some more. But yeah, eventually that factory is going to make all of these things, and I'm going to make it so they're all hooked up to awesome sinks, so it just never shuts off either. It's just always producing. A lot of the ideas are just like, well, I'll just start this. It'll just be real quick. Or, I just need a little factory to do this. Yeah. I feel like it happens with both steel and aluminum. Like, you get to steel and you're like, okay, great. And because you only have Mark II belts, you really can only make a pretty small amount of the steel. And then all of a sudden you realize you just need tons more steel and the better belts and the better miners to do anything for the next phase. But a small, temporary aluminum factory can get you by for quite a while. But then, yeah, once you get into tier 8, then it's all of a sudden, oh, everything needs a ton. What am I doing? Why did I come out here? I was doing the milestones. Oh, I'm so dumb. Well, that serves me right for... trying to multitask. Milestone first, and then I can finish my belts. I put this on stilts so that the angle wasn't as ridiculous, so now it doesn't randomly kick me off. And I can just go the whole way. Much easier. So yeah, I guess I do have 5 train stations in there. I hope that's enough. Let's get up here. Let's get to our hub. All right. So let's knock these out. Heck yeah.
Milestone reached. Turbo motors can now be constructed
Now,
to build the latest
the most complicated items I've unlocked.
Mark III. A new project part enables progress to the next phase.
So I just need a whole bunch of fabric so I can make the filter, so then I can make hazmat. And then, holy cow. Well, it's gonna be a little while until I make all this. So, yeah. And then to actually turn in the space elevator parts, oh boy. That'll be a while. But this is where I think I have the most fun in the game, is when you really have everything unlocked. So you can really build your factories to their true potential. Really, it just feels good to be able to get the most amount of resources out of a node you can. So you just don't have to grab as many. And for some things like sulfur, there's just not a lot on the map. So the Mark III miners can really make a big difference. Okay, so this one goes... Wait, which tile am I doing it on? This one. There we go. The Mark III miners are cool, and thanks. I think you're pretty cool too. I'm really curious, because if you don't know, the Mark III miners are just like normal miners, where they only have one output. And so even though if you completely overclocked a Mark III miner to the full 250%, some of these ads are so loud. A Mark III miner should be able to get 1,200 ore out of it, but you can't, because there's only one output and the belts only go to 780. So they've said that they're going to address that. I don't know if that's going to be a change that they actually come out with before the 1.0 launch, or if they're just going to save that for the 1.0 for whatever reason. So the two theories are that they're either going to add a second output, Oh, whoops. That's backwards. Or they're going to make like a Mark 6 belt or something that could move 1200 or so. So my thinking is that they're going to add a second output to the miner so that you can just have two belts coming off out of it. Either way, a Mark 4 miner. Either way, they have like there's issues with the game that they have to address, because right now there's kind of an issue with things that have two outputs, like these industrial storage containers and the train station and the truck station, where if you have, this many items in it, oh no, I don't actually want those to go up. I'm dumb. But, yeah, whatever. I'll just scoop them out of there. If you have enough items, then they'll come out evenly. But if it's where there's only like one stack, I believe only one of them is going to get it. It's not going to split them evenly, which in a lot of cases is probably fine. But it can just make things kind of weird. So I think they'll have to address it splitting evenly, or else I think one belt will get prioritized and then you would have to do like a load balancer afterwards or something. I don't know. Oh man. Nuclear it's something. I actually really like all of that. I really don't think it's that bad, to be completely honest. Part of that is if I wait long enough, I think it makes it easier. Because obviously you have to do the whole recycling. Or at least that's how I prefer to get rid of it instead of storing it. So one of the alternate recipes, which, I wonder if I can actually look at now. All the way down here at the bottom. So, well, one of the things that they've said they're going to do is get rid of beacons. And so this is the better recipe to use, but I'm not going to use it just because I don't want to build this whole thing. And then in, 3-6 months, whenever they finally change it, they remove these, and then I have to adjust my entire product chain to add in. More than likely, they're just going to substitute the beacon with something else. I don't really know what they're going to do. So I'm just not going to use this recipe just for my own peace of mind. And, I guess... that's the last milestone unlocks the particle enrichment. So I guess I kind of need to unlock everything before I can even do that. But one of the alternate recipes uses one of the endgame items. You've got the fuse modular frames that I have a few of. I don't even have 200 of. There's basically the next evolution of that one. You use those, and it's not the most efficient as far as materials, but if you were going to use plutonium as a power source, that's what you would want to do. But it also gives you a absolute ton of coupons, and so that I think it simplifies the whole process, and then I get more coupons out of the whole thing, which I'm all about trying to unlock all my cool statues eventually. Ooh, how do I want to... Actually, yeah, we'll do it like this, and then I'll run smart splitters off of that section. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Probably should have seen if it fit that whole length. Let's see. Oh, it does go that far. Cool. Oh yeah, I'll get there eventually. It'll be great. I'm pretty excited to do nuclear. I'm hoping, and I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive. My max constraint, as I'm starting to plug up more and more, is already up to 23. I'm a little nervous, especially with because I'm overclocking everything, that I'm just gonna really eat into my power. So I'm hoping I don't need to build another oil power station, and that, where am I going? Smart splitter, and that I won't need to add more oil power before I get to nuclear. But I need to finish this whole factory, which getting this one and that one, I'm going to guess is probably going to put me up to probably close to 40K or something, though. Because I don't think I've even plugged up most of the machines over there into power. So they're not even on the power grid. Okay, so I think awesome sinks are too tall for in here, aren't they? Yeah, they are. So I've got to put these on the outside. Oh, it's a bummer. I'm probably going to need more fuel power. You're probably right. I don't think I'll get to it. Because I'm going to need... So, like, the factories that I have to get set up before I can even look at doing nuclear is... Actually, let me look. I think I've planned out how much I want to do. So I need to have my battery factory done because I want to use drones for a couple things. And then, yeah, I need to get all the way up to the pressure conversion cubes. So I need to make a factory that does that. And what was the other? Oh, the electromagnetic control rods. I need a factory that does that. So yeah, there's a good chance that I don't have enough power to get into nuclear. One thing that I'm thinking, like, if I need more power, I may go all the way to the other corner of the map. I don't know where. It lets you scroll down really far. I think it's just down here. The blue crater area has a whole bunch of oil. And so I may just turn that whole area into just one massive power plant and just sacrifice that whole area. And the nice thing is then all I would need is I would need power out there, but I wouldn't actually need to build any other infrastructure if all it's going to do is create power. Although I'd probably use all that resin for something else, so I probably would have a train line running out of it just like I did for that one. Oh yeah, so what did I need for awesome sinks? So where should I put those? Because this train... I don't even know where this train line is going because I have no clue where I'm going to put the battery factory. You know what's interesting is I've never actually... I don't think I've ever transported oil by train. The bottom left of the map. The beach. Oh, down here. Yeah, that's yeah. So I grabbed. That's where my big power plant is right here. I grabbed the oil. Oh, it's autosave. So wondering why my cursor's not moving. I grabbed this oil and built it basically up here. And I think that's yeah, when I played my very first playthrough in the grassy fields, that's where I went for oil. It's a great spot, and you learn that building over the water is just it's really easy. It's really convenient to do. It's just nothing in your way. All right, so if I have that there, I mean, ultimately, I wouldn't actually need. Eventually, I won't need these sinks. So these are, I guess, kind of temporary. So let's go with. Let me just go back to the hover pack. There we go. All right, so. Just set up for like this, and all right, so each one of those are gonna get 200. No, actually, I don't think I've gotten everything. And of course, everything is it's an insane amount because they have the trophies in there, and I think there's like 1,000 trophy. But like for all of the like buildable stuff, I've gotten most of it, and you know, it's a good question. Let's see, can I... I can build a shop. Let's see, how many do we have? Oh, 26. Let's see what else we can get. So, guess I still haven't gotten the blue one. Guess we'll just get that. Yeah, rarely ever gonna use Mark III wall plugs, but I would say the only time I really use those is when I'm doing a whole bunch of pumps next to each other. Other than that, they don't actually come in useful use for me that much. Ah, here we go. Let's knock out, get the rest of the patterns. And then, let's see, do I have enough to... Ah, I do. Get the boombox and how many of the tapes? How many? 23. 4. Oh, just enough to get everything except for the trophies. And now we start saving for these. Awesome. Well, now I do have everything. Oh, thanks for mentioning that. I would have forgotten to check for a while, probably. We got our ghetto blaster now. Heck yeah. I'm not going to play a tape just because I'm already playing music, but it is pretty cool. Got my coffee cup and my boombox now. Life's good. Wait. I needed to go back down there. Okay, so straight is any overflow. Oh yeah, I can just copy and paste these. Ooh. I wonder if I actually have enough room. Oh, just barely. And yep. That's alright. This one can just go straight. Which makes more sense anyways. Less turns. One, two. There it is. Alright. So that is the 1600 plastic that my battery factory will need. Let's get that all out of the way. And then the rest of it goes back to the home factory for everything else. So let's do these on the inside. Ooh, and I do need some. Okay, so let's go with the other heart bar. Alright, the merger. Let's see. Will it line up with everything else? No. Oh, yeah, they're on the other side, that's why. Alright, so we'll put that one there. What's this? Yeah. This is how I'm going to do it. Okay. So, why? Oh, it's just way off. So this one, I'm going to have it come out this way. Let's lock it. Cool. These lined up? Yeah. Okay, so does all of this fit on one line? How do you determine the amount of items per minute to produce? Ooh, that is a great question. So in the the very early part of the game, it's a lot of it's just kind of reliant on how much I can make because you're so limited by belt and miner speeds. For my home factory, that's basically just going to be producing the items for me to use with my build gun to go use or make other factories and whatnot. Those are just kind of just kind of get a feel for how many you think you're gonna go through, and as long as you have a decent amount of storage when you're not going through, tons and tons of concrete, you'll just build up a good stockpile. So it's kind of trying to find that happy medium of I want a decent amount so it'll replenish quickly when I use it, and it just keeps giving me coupon points. Oh, the amount of plastic. Now that is a good question. So plastic is interesting. So, well, plastic and rubber. So I'll come up here and I'll show you. So the trick with making, as far as I know, this is the way that you make the absolute most amount of plastic or rubber for the amount of crude oil. So it's quite a multi-step process here. So it's basically, I have this in 2 different sets. So on this side of the factory, does rubber and a whole bunch of other things because I didn't need an insane amount of rubber. This is only using 300 crude oil. This is using 600 crude oil, but it's also using the 1200 polymer resin that I had extra from the power plant that's over there. I'm trucking that in because the way that this works is you take 600 crude oil and I'm turning that into heavy oil residue. So each one of these feeds into a blender. They're going to turn that heavy oil residue, mix it with water, and then I get twice that amount in fuel. So you basically turn all of your oil into fuel, just like this is basically exactly how you would do like the most efficient like fuel setup for power, is using the blender and the diluted fuel recipe. But then what you do is you take the polymer resin and you mix it with water and you make whatever you're trying to make. So since this whole thing is making plastic, I'm turning all the resin into plastic. So by bringing in a ton of extra resin, it helps. I can just get a lot more out of this because of the way that it works is I turn the resin into plastic. I turn the plastic, mix it with fuel, and I double the amount. So I go from 75 plastic, now I have 150 rubber. And then I take all of the rubber, and now I do the same thing, and I double it. I take the rubber, mix it with fuel, and turn it into plastic. So the way that you want to set it up is you turn as much crude oil into fuel as you can, and then you take all that polymer resin, and then you use 1/3 of your fuel to turn it into the opposite, going from plastic to rubber. And then you use 2/3 of the fuel in the last step to double it one more time. And so if I wasn't bringing in all of that polymer resin, this stage wouldn't make nearly enough plastic for this stage that it needs. So you would actually take some of the end plastic and recycle it back and inject it into this. So it's really weird. But like the only way I could kind of wrap my head around it is by, using a spreadsheet and seeing the numbers. But that's what I had to do with the rubber, is some of the rubber is having to recycle back into the first step because you don't get enough out of just the polymer resin. I got lucky and the numbers just lined up that the polymer resin that I was bringing in from over there was the exact amount to give me the exact I needed for all of this to work. And so I got really lucky. Usually you would have to recycle some, but one of the cool things with the plastic, the polymer resin recipe is just worse. Like this is 150 to make 50, and the rubber one I think is probably 150 to make 40, maybe? Or maybe is it the other way around? Where did I put those? They're over here. So you actually get slightly better ratios out of rubber than you do with plastic. Okay, yeah, this one only needs 100 to make 50, whereas that one needs 150. So with rubber, even with having to recycle some of your end product back into the first step of the factory, you can turn 1 crude oil into 3 rubber. So if you take like a 300 node, you can easily make 900 rubber out of it. With plastic, you'll end up being just shy of like a 3-to-1 because of that shittier polymer resin ratio. So you'll get like 850 or 840 or something like that instead of 900. But that is the really long way to answer The other thing that contributed into how much plastic I was going to make was I ran the numbers for how many batteries I wanted to make. And that's where most of this plastic is going. So I needed to make more than the 1600. And then I added up what machines in my main factory needed. So as long as I had more than that, then I was happy, which I think this will make a bit more than that. So I'll end up sinking some of it, which is A-okay with me. Just more points for my cool trophy room that I'll build eventually. That's facing the wrong way. How much is this whole thing making again? I don't remember. So 2134 minus the 1600. Ah, cool. 534. Which I'm pretty sure is enough. But now that I'm thinking, I should probably double check. Okay, so I need for the canisters so I can package that fuel. How much plastic is that going to be? Oh, it's only 100. Okay, I'm like super positive I don't need that much plastic at the home factory. But let's consult the spreadsheet. Let's see. What did I do? Okay, so plastic there and there. Oh, I don't even need that much plastic. Okay, so I am super good on the amount. Definitely gonna have too much. So actually, yeah. Okay, so let's throw down a smart splitter. So is that cool? All right, let's get that up to the right height. So oh, nice. I'm just gonna cover up most of my wires. Except for it's always weird snapping in the same place where a wire is. But the item shouldn't clip with it at all, so I'm okay with it. And why? I thought it would snap on this one. Yeah, there it goes. Ooh. I don't think it likes to snap over the... Oh, I wonder if we can use the nudge feature, though. Can I... Ah! Hold on. Yeah! I can force it to be in the place I want. Ah, nice. Okay. So that'll go into a container. And then this is going to need to run like the length of like the entire factory. Oh, I forgot to plug this in. There we go. So, how do we want to... I can probably just run it on the roof. So I need 100? Is that what I just said? I think I need 100 plastic for the canisters. Yes. So only needs to be Mark II belt. And let's just run it. I don't want to run it on the power lines again. That was annoying. So we'll run it just on the edge of this foundation. I forgot. So in your aluminum factory, how much are you trying to make? Or how much bauxite are you trying to bring in to do it? So where are... I've kind of forgotten where they're going. There it is. Ah, perfect. Look, we can thread the needle right through there. I love it. Okay, so let's get the blueprint for splitter. And, ooh, not even close. So I'm hoping, and that is totally backwards. Okay, so now are we lined up? Looks good. Sweet. Let me double check, but these should each be taking in 50. Perfect. Okay, so now I can run this. Oh, that's right, because of the 1 meter. Oh, forgot about that part. I don't think I would have to be right there. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Okay, might as well just keep it the same then. $120 a minute aluminum sheets. Ooh, very nice. Aluminum's really interesting because you definitely need aluminum sheets because they're your best belt, so you're gonna start using a ton of them. But for actually like as a material that you need for other factories, you're actually going to use a lot more of the casing. Is that lined up? Yeah, it is. Okay. Which I always just found really weird. Like, aluminum sheets don't really get used in very many. I think there's like 1 or 2 recipes that do use it still. Like I want to say... Is it the battery? Oh, yeah. So the normal recipe for batteries uses casings, but I really do not like the normal one because it's just a pain. Like, if you don't have to deal with liquids, like turning sulfur into sulfuric acid, and then also having to use alumina solution, like that just seems awful. So I've always gone, and for materials wise, this one's just better anyways. Like I think for sulfur, you just use less sulfur, and since it's the main uses for sulfur are going to be for whatever weapon and ammo that you need, and then the big two uses are going to be for the amount of batteries you want to make and for nuclear. 80-minute aluminum casings, very nice. Yeah, like, and then it's kind of like the opposite. So aluminum casings get used in a lot of the different recipes, but you'll only really need a little bit to make like drone ports and blenders, which you're not usually making just like an insane amount of those in the first place. So okay, so I think we wiggled that all the way through. So that will feed the constructors that are doing canisters, so I can package the fuel and turbo fuel. And I think that's all that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, cool. So yeah, there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 5. Ah, yes, 5. That does make sense. So, which I guess this is where I figure out which one goes where. You know, we'll just turn this one around and it can be plastic. Oh wait, it needs to be like way on this side. Oh. Wrong one. Why did I decide to stream? Good question. I had played update 8 like a whole bunch like the week it came out, and then I kind of took a break from Satisfactory, and then I kind of just had the itch to play again, and I thought, you know what, it would be kind of fun to just stream the playthrough. I've always liked the idea of streaming, just never really knew what in the world to stream. And this game, I can play for hours on end. So it ended up being just kind of a good fit, I feel, for me. Do I just want to run it on the ceiling? I guess so. It makes more sense. Alright, so let's see. Just to make it easy on myself. If I bring that to the halfway mark, and then this one to the very edge, it'll make 2 nice right angles. Perfect. Alright, so I'm going to... I forgot that would be underneath the station. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. I can paint it from underneath here. Alright, so I'm going to color coordinate the train stations. It's going to be very interestingly colored. Okay, so that would make this one the end one. I wonder if they have a mod that you lose all the materials it took to make it when you delete. I guess. So it just like costs you like double to delete anything? Is that like the way it works? Or it's permanent. Like if you delete something, you're out of luck with the materials. That would be painful. That is a very punishing way. Okay, so now that I've realized, I actually think I want to switch this, and I think I'm gonna make the plastic go into the very first one, because that way I can keep the rubber and plastic right next to each other. So I forgot where the rubber was gonna end up. So let's set this back up to where you lose. Oh, that's interesting. I know there's a lot of different like challenge modes that people will undertake. I'll just paint this black for now. I don't know what it's gonna be. And I know one of them is like you can't delete anything. Like anything you place is just permanently in your world, and like I don't know if there's a mod to like enforce it or whatever, but I know that's a challenge. I know there's like a doing your entire world in like either a 5x5 or 20x20 grid, and so you just like your entire factory has to exist within those foundries, so you just have this gigantically tall tower. I definitely think it's interesting, and maybe one day I'll try one of those, but some of those challenges just seem so punishing. Like losing all the materials. Like I guess really it would be a gigantic pain up until a certain point of the game where you're manufacturing just a ton. And then it just becomes like a pain to go grab it. But in the early game, oh wow. That would be so awful. Like I would just have to just deal with things being in horrible places and layouts. Alright, so that... Thankfully, if that were to happen now, like it would just be a pain. I'm making enough of all the different built materials. Wait, I can just do... I don't have to make it turn twice. Cool. Okay, so this one's gonna be plastic, and then that one is already black. Okay, cool. So let's just have this one run. Actually, I can make them all fit. Like this. Okay, so it's one off. Let's just place it in the right spot. There we go. Okay, so Mark 5 to here, and then to there. And that is rubber. So this one's Mark 1. Oh, that must be fabric? Yeah, it's gotta be. See a lot of vet players who reach the level of having everything in all their factories are all architecturally designed, so they just have no more challenge, so they build like factories to make, for example, 50k copper ingots is, yeah, I've definitely seen those. I think it's for people definitely like that. I'm really happy that they added the advanced game settings, because I wanted to do this sort of a playthrough like I'm Kibitz, where I just spawned in as many power shards as I want. But you had to use mods for it, and so now for a lot of the really basic things, you can actually just do it in game without mods, which is, I think, really nice. Like the fly mode is great. I think I know mods, you can fly faster. Wait, do I have enough? Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so this one is a Mark 1, and these are going to be Mark 2. But I'm really glad that this game, gives you kind of those options that if you want to just mess around and build a crazy factory for no good reason, just to build it just because you can, go for it. What? Oh, I connected to the wrong thing. Cool. So I think that's... I think that might actually be... I think that's everything. California? Nice. Yeah, me too. So the other question is, do I want to just close it up now? Where did I put it? I thought I made... Ah, very cool. It's been a long time since I've been up in that area. I'm in Southern California. So I made a wall blueprint. Oil walls. Yep, right there. Okay. Aha. There we go. Just so I don't have to. Oh no. No, don't fall. Darn. Alright. Back to the jetpack. Get me out of here. So I could put this on the hotbar for now. Oh, just more question marks because I didn't label anything. Way to go, me. Cool. But at least now I can place all those walls easily. And if I screw up, I can delete them all in one go. Perfect. All the outer walls are 4 meters thick. Yes, but I am using the half foundations to kind of give it that a little bit more depth. So they're the half 4 meter foundations, and then I just use the fix-it one so I can paint them white just to switch it up, give it a little bit more color. But yeah, I used to use a lot more of the, like, either 2 or I would use a lot of the 1 meter walls, or I mean foundations, for like floors of stuff, just because, I mean, why not? And the only reason I generally stick to the 4 meters now is it just keeps the measurements of everything easier for me. The main theme color, that's a great question. I guess probably black and white. 'Cause I'm just not very imaginative or creative when it comes to doing the colors. Oh, I need to do a specific one for that one. It's probably not the right color, so there we go. Black and red is a great choice. I really like that color scheme. And usually if I do any I've only really done turbo fuel like once or twice, and then for those setups I always did black and red. But just in general, it's a good color combo. I like it. I actually ran out of concrete. I can already tell it's a bit darker in here now that I've closed out all the normal light. Where's the door? Alright. So, only 1 stack of concrete there. Oh, I've got plenty of concrete, I forgot. And actually, I need... Do I have enough iron plates? Another big challenge is the architectural design. Yeah, this is definitely a game where I'm not super creative either. I would say most of the coolest things I've done is I borrowed. I definitely try not to just 100% rip off something that someone else has done, but I've watched my fair share of different Satisfactory videos, and yeah, like it's hard to be creative, and you watch some people and they just do such cool builds and everything, and it's just like, how do you even come up with that stuff? Especially when it comes to like the crazy like clipping that you can do to build some really interesting things. Like I've seen people do like functional stairs out of like the 1 meter foundations, but you gotta like clip them into each other, kind of weird, and it's really cool. And blueprints definitely make a lot of it like a million times easier, because without them it would just be an absolute nightmare to repeat. But yeah, I definitely look to other people for inspiration. But that's kind of the fun thing. You borrow the things you like, and then you give it your own touch. I think that's one of the things I really like, is I know there's a bunch of content creators that will, they'll have like a Discord or a Patreon, and they'll put up the different blueprints that they make. But I'll be honest, I think that's like one of the most fun parts of the game, is having like seen a really cool blueprint and then just being like, I wonder if I could make it, but make it a little bit not better, but like fit my needs a little bit more. The old Soviet buildings from the 50s. Have you watched any of the I'm Kibitz? He definitely leans more towards the brutalist design. And that's, I think, the other person who I got a lot of just using foundations as even walls, and just using the full ones a lot more than using the smaller ones. I'll use the 2 and the 4s a lot more when I go to build bridges or roads and that sort of a thing. And then, yeah, for whatever reason, I like just using the big chunky 4-meter ones. But once your buildings get so big, it feels like it fits. Not that I like the design, but there's always ways to at least make it still look presentable. This is kind of like, that's super simple and not fancy at all, but I don't hate it, so I'm okay with it. And then I know that it would probably look better if I even covered most of it in walls instead of you leaving just the blank concrete. It would probably look better, but part of me just, actually that does look nice, because then you get this color and that color, but then you also get that weird clipping sometimes. And then to get rid of that, then because that would probably drive me nuts, so then I would end up coming around and putting like a beam around the whole window, which, don't get me wrong, would look really cool. I don't want to add that many objects into the game yet. So I think that may be something that I go back and kind of like touch up towards the end of the game, instead of starting a new save to make a factory that makes 50,000 copper ingots. I'll probably spend a lot of time just touching up factories, trying to make them look even cooler. I just know that if I add all the detail that the creators who make like the beautiful designs do. I just know my computer is just not gonna handle it when I get to the end game, and my factories are just way bigger. So I think, I never actually hooked up these to power, did I? Let me do that real quick before I forget. So where's the main power line? Like trains, architectures on a whole. Yeah. It can get pretty crazy with the different designs I've seen. I really like roundabouts, and it took a while to figure out like how to do it well, and I haven't done it in a while, so I've probably forgotten. But it's time consuming, but it looks really cool. And when you see the trains using the roundabouts, especially, us coming from like being in California, there's not a lot of roundabouts. I don't think in America in general there's a ton of roundabouts. I don't think maybe certain areas have them now, but a lot don't. So, but when you see like the trains use them, it just looks cool. Okay, so I think most of this factory is ready to get turned on. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm actually ready for it to be turned on. Although I could, and it just wouldn't produce everything, because I think I need to switch over one of those coal miners, which means one of my other setups is not going to have enough coal, which would probably be fine, because the majority of things are stopped because I'm not syncing them, and all my storage is completely full, which is great. Some stuff's still moving. But I think, let's see, so now I have way too much of some of this material. I'm just going to dump it into the sink. Let's just get rid of some of these things. I have too much. Yeah, I really don't need all of these right now. And I know my bins are already full. So I think what I want to do is grab a whole bunch of concrete. And then I think I'm going to add the top layer to the factory. Oh boy, there we go. Oh, I have so much belt work to do over here. I kind of just didn't want to do it, and that's why I went and built the that oil factory. I just kind of wanted to put this off for longer. And I'm going to continue to do that by instead adding another layer in more buildings instead of doing the belt work. So how tall do I want to make this floor? It's probably at least like 5, right? If the roof was right there. Ah, it's too low. What about? there's always more belt work. So is this? I think that's a good height. And if I add lights, yeah, let's go with that. Okay, so I need to go. So it'll be a gap of 5. Okay, so if we go vertical to 6, and then I want, can I grab the outside? Not without falling. Oh yeah, I have a hover pack. I already forgot. Okay, so I set those there. Just, yeah, we might as well just get rid of you. So now, is it? There we go. Got our 12-meter Logi floor. And I think that should be centered. It is really hard to tell. Ah, let's use the outside edges. Yeah, that looks good. Ah, actually clips into the side. That's fine. Oh. Never mind. I only need like 1 extra. So that's a waste. Let's do it from there. And this is where blueprints really shine. Because in one click, I can place down 2 floors. Being able to place, what would that be, 32 foundations at a time? Way better than zooping. Which I've seen videos from people playing way back when in those like super early updates that they hadn't added zooping and you just had a one click for every foundation. Whew. They have made such huge quality of life changes for this game. It's really nice to see. So I did debate making this last logistics floor 16 meters instead of 12 because it's pretty much all manufacturers and blenders up there, which some of them are going to use 4 inputs, but I'm pretty sure with I need so few of the machines, especially with overclocking. Like I think I only need like 13. Yeah, 11 manufacturers and 2 blenders. So even though they're huge machines, I only need 13 of them on this giant floor that I'm placing. So I think I'll be able to work around that pretty easily. Which I guess I could have made this top floor smaller. But who wants to do that? Like having a big giant home factory. Okay, so let's figure out the it's power. Oh, train line. Duh. So why is there power over here? Nice. Okay, so oh yeah. Do I have enough to do this at least? All right, so how? Okay, I did. Trying to keep it all the same. So then a corner and stairs. Oh, nice. Manufacturers are 12 high. The blenders are 15. Oh, right. I just meant for the gap for my logistics floor, since the manufacturers and blenders can have 4 inputs. So, like, if I wasn't using a logistics floor, a lot of the times what you would do for, like, the manufacturer is you would take, like, the splitter, and, like, it would end up being something like, 1 here, and then you'd have to do 2 here, 3 here, and then a 4th one there, and then you just delete these extra ones. And, like, that way you could have a line of all 4 different products, and then being able to, like, split it off and just kind of have, like, a manifold that way. And so I was thinking that since things can get stacked like 4 high really easily, maybe I should just add 1 more floor for that level. But I think I'll be able to work around it. I think that's what I'm gonna hope, at least. So I think I don't have concrete. You know what? It's gonna look really weird, but I just want to get the stairs done. Cool. So I forgot 1 more, and then the corner, and then stairs. Let's delete this one, and another corner. Cool. So now I need to go get some more concrete, but I also just want my quick way to get up here, and I'm missing concrete to build it. Oh. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, at that point, it really doesn't. I just like having a little bit of extra headspace, just so if I decide later on that I want to, is it organization? Lay down, like, the ceiling lights or whatever. If this was, like, 1 foundation lower, then it just gets a little... Actually, it would still work fine. It's really just personal preference on like how much height you want in between the floors. But yeah, logistics floors can get cramped if they're too small. I wish it's just that one part that it clips through, but I am just it would just be a pain to fix it. So oh, that's right. I need more. Let's see. Okay. I want my quick way back up here. So I'm just going to steal more concrete. And now can I build one? Perfect. So let's put this on the corner so hopefully it still reaches. Does it reach? Oh, it's too long. No way. All right, well. So it fit here on that floor, I think. This is so silly. So, but that didn't bring it up high enough. Let's see, can I, if I do it on this floor, is it for some reason just close enough now? If I put it like right on the edge. Come on. No way. That's like just at the limit. Perfect. Oh. Thanks, I appreciate that. Okay, so now I should have probably left more stuff so I had more space, but that's okay. I think I can probably finish off that floor with this concrete. Where is... Oh. Too many wires. Which one's which? And I missed. Oh no. Man, the right clicking, I like it. It's just a little finicky, it seems. But I do like my... I don't even know what you would call this. It is a zip line, but it's not an elevator. It's almost like an escalator. Perfect. Just spits me right out here. Okay, so let's repair what I deleted. Alright. Good as new. So let's finish these blueprints here. And where? Cool. So how do you get the different textures on the foundations? So if you there's the build, customizer, and then blueprints. So X is also the quick key for customizer. The concrete and asphalt are essentially like the same thing, but that's probably the different texture. The interesting thing is if you make it asphalt, you really like can't tell a difference on the outside, except for I think by what it's colored, I want to say. Oh no, that's yeah. So there's just like an ever so slightly different shade for the side of the difference. And then other than that, I just changed the colors, which kind of changed the way they look quite a bit. Although some things like asphalt, the only thing with changing, so if you use asphalt or grit metal, I think are the only two. So it seems like if you color it, nothing happens, which I get it doesn't. The only time where it will matter what you color those two types of foundations are if you come down to patterns. And then now the pattern will show up as whatever the secondary color is. So if I change this to the blue and whatever, and then come down to patterns, now it's black because that was the secondary color for the color swatch that you use. So that's just one thing to keep in mind is the secondary colors are always going to be what the patterns show up as, even on the things that you can't like color. And actually I'm gonna time to go around and color my edges the same as every other floor. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this. Oh, I guess it does change the color of the side when you change the colors. That's kind of funny. Well, good to know. And I always forget, but if you leave like all of the like coloring or redoing anything, you can actually on like a hotbar, you can actually hotbar the different color swatches if you wanted to, which is kind of nice if you'd rather just kind of leave it to last or you're constantly switching. So this floor is going to house 11 manufacturers and 2 blenders to make the final products that I want to have in storage or grow to drone ports, really, when I finally get there. So this will be the floor that makes the... Man, what are we making up here? It's going from heavy modular frames, crystal oscillators, high-speed connectors, computers, supercomputers, radio control units, turbo motors. And what are the blenders making? Oh, the fuse modular frames and the cooling systems. Nice. Two, three, four. I like using the different foundation materials and colors to help me lay out the factory, like what's going to go where. It can be really helpful. Especially if you're trying to get things like even. little lag spike mixed with the jetpack is kind of fun sometimes. Cool. So I somehow missed a couple. There we go. All right. So now the question is, do I actually have... There's no way I... Nope. I didn't make any for the manufacturers yet. All right, so let's see if we can... Let's just put this here. So I think I have a, like, more or less blank template for what I wanted to do with the manufacturers. And I don't think I've made one for the blenders. Why am I... Oh, the blanks. There we go. That's what I named them. So I do. Okay, cool. So I have a manufacturer, but no... I'll have to make one for the blender next then. Cool. So this will have the power already routed. And then we've got nice little walkways. And all four. Okay, cool. So to make things easy, I'm just going to save one for every different recipe, even though I could probably easily change it. Actually, I could. There's so few that I don't actually need to do that, do I? Should be good enough. Okay, so... One, two, three. Okay, good to know. So... I want to grab... Not that. Here we go. So if I just put... Oh, how did I do that? So if I just put power in all four corners, then I can use my hover pack. A little bit easier. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I actually didn't need to place down that many. Oh well. So the blender. Try to get it centered. Cool. Oh, how do I want to do this? Let me think for a second. I'm gonna grab some water real quick. Be right back. Okay. So for sure. The power to. Why did I use asphalt? I really like asphalt for very specific things. For roads, I think they're amazing, especially because their main benefit is they're pretty much the only one where you can clip into each other without the weird Z fighting. So I like using them for roads because you can curve them into each other and it doesn't look super weird. That is not ideal. Man, I wish there was just a better way to do the power for the blenders. So with some of the machines, you can actually snap walkways to some of the parts. That, unfortunately, is just not... It's a weird place, because I know these arms are going to move. I guess they don't go tall enough to clip through that, but... That's a bummer. I was kind of hoping there'd be a cool spot to... Oh. Oh, okay. That's at least with the height of the power. That's kind of cool. But at the same time, it's on the side of it, which isn't how I would want to do it. Although, at the same point, there's only 2 of them going up here, so I don't really know what I'm stressing over. Let me just make... So why don't I just do... These are both making... Yeah, okay. No byproducts. And we're making a super low amount. So we go with that. So what if I did the same thing as some of the others and we just clip one of these through? Oh, so the one for the manufacturer is only 3 tall. Wait, which side am I? Which side is all this on? Ah, so it's on the other. Oh, okay. You know what? I think that would be better. I think if I put it on this side, that would be better. So for both of the blender recipes, they're intaking 2 solids. Oh, and nitrogen gas. Oh. Wow. For some reason, I thought one of these was an actual liquid. That's amazing because you don't need pumps for gas. They have like unlimited head lift. Oh, one of these is gonna have to be Mark II for the casings, I guess. Whatever. I'll change that later. So I don't need any pumps. So even though like it's a train bringing it in hundreds of meters below, it's super easy. Do I want it on the inside one? In your future glass museum, want to add next to the conveyor belt display 2 clipping objects? What 2 clipping objects? Let's go white since it's nitrogen gas for both of them. And then, which, I don't think, yeah, the sides of it clip kind of weird. So we'll stick to putting it over. Alright, so now the question is, how did I do the rest of this? So if this is alright, so we're just gonna have, yeah, the blenders are gonna just take up, what the? It's not supposed to let you build outside of the Blueprint Designer. Huh. Usually it yells at you when you do that. Wait, so this one should still fit inside. Right? Yeah, okay. And then let's get this one to go all the way to this side. They'll just take up 4 tiles, 4 foundations. I think that'll be good. And then now it'll look the same as all the other buildings for this, and I can clip this, and we'll clip it to there. Now that I'm thinking about it, why would I use those ones? I should probably use the one with railing on both sides. And that way you can actually check on the machine. Okay, so if I bring power there now, actually let's just delete that. And power can clip right there. And I think let's see. What's that? Maybe I want it. Oh. So these things share. Okay, so I don't need to use any splitters for these blenders. So it's just going to be items coming straight in. So at that point, it would look like this probably. Not crazy about it. So let's, what if we did it to the side? Oh, well now, gotta put that back. So we go, oh, it's either there or, is that too far out? I think I like that better. Delete that one. And delete that one. Okay, so wire. Okay, so I think got the inputs and output. All right. So we'll just throw these in the manufacturer tab because I don't feel like making a new one. And we'll just go with black background. Alright, so let's clear this. Delete that. Say goodbye to my hover pack. Okay, so what is it? How big is this? Okay, so we are at 44. And you know what? I'm just going to jot that down real quick. Okay, so I've got 44, and the manufacturer takes up exactly 4, right? Pretty much, I think. Did I really have it like one shy? Whatever, we're just gonna say it takes up 4. Okay, so oh boy. Okay, so that means I could fit 11, which is how does the spacing work out? So I'm trying to think where. Okay, so I think I want to do 5, a row of 5, a row of 5, and then I'm gonna make the very front section look weird and do Blender manufacturer Blender, just because I like symmetry. So you know what? Let's just get one placed where it needs to go. Oh, no, not that floor. Okay. And then let's go to a different hotbar. Oh, this is annoying. There we go. Okay, so not blueprint mode. And then so do those. Oh, this is kind of weird. It's up 1, I think. I just want that to line up with either one half or the other, not in the middle of a foundation. Not really for any good reason, but okay, so let's just try that there. And I need to go get more plastic. So that's totally not going to be the right spacing, is it? Okay, I know how to So if it's... Okay, I think I know how to... Wow. If I could just grab the wire. Okay, so I think... In my head, this works. Since there's enough space to fit 11. And I only want to fit 5. So if I space them out... with, like, basically a gap of each one... I need 10 more. Motors. Let's see, where are our rods? Here we are. And then plastic. Should be the last one. Yep. Okay, so let's see if what's in my head matches reality at all. I think it's funny. I think this factory is actually straddling the line between two different biomes, and so, like, just the air will kind of slightly change color. Okay, so I think if I just slam down 11 of these, they're just gonna all fit perfect, right? Let's see if I'm right. I am not. I think I know. I think these aren't actually for foundations. Oh, I love being able to delete entire blueprints, and that means I should delete that one. And nope. Special blueprint designer. So let's load the manufacturer and see if I'm crazy. It doesn't fit, but I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, I might jump back on. All right, let's get up here. Oh, the bummer with that is now this isn't really going to line up super well, is it? And I liked having that little thing. But I think to get this... It's got to be at that halfway mark. Now it goes all the way to the edge. Oh, like what I wanted. Okay, so these ones need to be straight. Alright, now it comes all the way to the edge. This one needs to be straight. And then the only way I can really fix this is by putting 2 here now. Cool. And then it still clips through it. Works for me. Alright, so now it's a full 4. So I think well, that's annoying. I don't want to throw away those. I'll just get rid of those. I've got extras. It'll be fine. Okay, so now let's see about getting this centered. Oh yeah, now it comes all the way to the edge. And perfect. Okay, so now I think if I slam, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. On the money. I think. Perfect. Cool. So, since that's 11, and I only want 5, and I actually want 2 rows of 5. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There we go. And now, wee. Oh, whoops. I went through all of my jetpack. Okay, so let's delete this. And do the next row. Let's see, so how do I want to do it? Do I want to give it the same? See, for everything else, I just gave it like 2. Yeah, I guess let's just do it the same. We'll keep it consistent. It'll just be 2 out front. Okay, so now this row. I'm surprised I'm not getting a line. Oh yeah, there isn't one there behind anymore. Duh. Okay, so let's line that up with the halfway mark. And there we go. So just slam down as many as I can, and I don't think I'm gonna have the materials to do. Yep. Ooh, a little bit of a longer freeze there. Just kind of leapfrogging my way down with materials. Let's see. So that one's there. So this one's not. Oh, but yeah. Oh wait, I don't need to build. Wait. That's right. The last one's going up here. Silly me. Okay, so now we can just connect all of these. And patch up our hole in the floor. Cool. Nice. Cool. I like that. So now the question is, I don't need that many of them. And so I just wanted them to be spaced out evenly. I could have just made this floor smaller, but I didn't really want to think about how to design doing the aesthetics of that. So I'm just spacing them out because I only need so few machines and I have so much space. So 28. Oh, is this going to work out again really well? It is. Okay, cool. So let's see. Where exactly do I want to put those? Up here. It's 8. Okay, so I guess we'll just pick the middle 4. Alright, line that up, and then... nailed it. Okay, so... I need... factory... Oh, named that one weird. Alright. Oh, actually, I can actually place these here. Ah, cool. Oh, do these have... Wait, did I... Oh, silly me. Okay. What am I short for? Oh, cable? Oh, I don't want to. Just gonna go back, but if it's just cable. What is going on? Let's just... It's like the quickest thing to manually craft. So just knock out a little bit. Should be plenty. Okay. So... That's right. Let me grab a Blueprint Designer. Load the... Oh, I don't have... Oh, I needed all the steel beams to make the Blueprint Designer. That's funny. Okay, let's just go get more stuff then. Cool, and then I almost have all the machines for the top floor, and then just so many hours of belt work. Oh, that lag spike almost killed me. So, where are my steel beams? Alright, so plenty of steel beams. What else was I out of? Cable. I should probably just grab a few more iron plates. And probably rods too. The staples that you just never have enough of. A dual manufacturer blueprint? No. I guess you could... Oh, now I'm trying to think. Can you even do two manufacturers? Like, can you even stack them? Or are they too tall? I guess you might be able to. I don't know if I've ever actually tried to stack manufacturers in a blueprint. But I guess you probably could. But most of my blueprints tend to be singular, just so I can kind of place them like this, way more spread out, or just have more options. It does mean I click a few more times, but honestly, if it has most of the, like, the floor holes and the lifts and all of that already attached, it just saves so much time that I don't need it to, like, have absolutely everything in it for me. Nope. Factory. Blender. Okay, so I forgot that I was supposed to delete the floor. Sweet. So with that deleted, let's just resave it. And now we can clear it and delete it. Oh, I totally should have grabbed more motors. What a bummer. Okay, so that one's not really going to go there. So it's actually going to go right here. Wait, are these? No way. Oh, no, they're just... I thought they were different height. Oh, that's so funny. Okay. I guess it makes sense that they're not perfectly lined up. Okay, so but it actually this is on the line that I want it. So let's delete this blueprint and grab. Alright, so we'll get it to snap, and then we'll just move it back 2. Yeah. So now it's lined up and the same. Cool. So now the question is, can I place another one of either of these? I can. Perfect. So grab that blender one more time. Awesome. So now I can connect these. Perfect. My ridiculously spaced out top floor. But it would have been weird if I just slammed them all next to each other on one side. They just had a huge opening. Really, I'm just a sucker for symmetry. Is really what it comes down to. So if I did this right, that manufacturer should be right in the middle, which, oh, I did mark. Heck yeah. It sure is. Ooh. They may. they may call it OCD, and that's fair. I guess what I should do is probably add stairs. Okay, so I think... Ah, yes. Now I need to set recipes. Question is, do I have all the recipes? I think so. Alright, so for the blenders... Oh. What do I need? You know, one of these are making heat sinks, but I don't even remember. What did I need the heat sinks for? Or, wait a second. Oh, yeah, I'm dumb. I wasn't scrolled over enough. The heat sinks are being used for the cooling systems. Okay. Which... Ah, yeah. The alternate. Heat sinks, motors, and gas. Not the liquid. And this is going to make a whole whopping 2 a minute, so we can underclock this. I think it's only fitting for the very front and center one to be making some turbo modas, if I could remember which recipe I'm using. Ooh, turbo electric motor radio control unit Yep, that's the one. And this is going to make a whopping 2 turbo motors a minute. Heck yeah. And then this one is the other blender, so that means it is going to make some. Wait. Fused? Oh, yeah. The other one is called heat fused, and it's with a blender. I was, for a second, I freaked out. I was like, oh no, do I have to pump fuel up here somehow? Because I know that's the recipe that I usually use to make a bunch of these. But this one is only going to be making 2. So I do need 1 power shard on this one. Cool. So now, let's see what other recipes I need to set. Do any of these... Oh, some of these are used later on, aren't they? You know, we'll just work from the back. So we can do we'll do these ones first. Actually, no. Does it matter? No, they'll all get used on the machines. So let's do heavy encased. Yeah. So I need to be making 12 in total. So this one is going to make 6. I'm so silly. I can just save myself the hassle. Copy and paste. Gotta love it. Okay. So next down the list, insulated crystal oscillators. And we need 2 machines. Each one is going to be making 4.5. Whopping 9 total. And then the last one in this row will be the silicon high-speed connectors. And I need 5 total. All right. So, with the next row. Oh, actually, I didn't realize that. Okay, so let's actually make these last two the heavy modular frames. The way this is going to work out, I think this will be better. Save me a little bit of effort doing the belting underneath. So these two are actually going to be Caterium computers, of which I need, a random number. So let's make it do math for me. So I need 12.84 computers a minute. And we're going to do that with 2 machines. And so this one, will have the super state computer. I forgot. I need to finish the batteries just to do this. That's okay. And this is going to make a whopping 2 a minute. And then these last middle 2 are going to be for the radio control units. But am I just using the default recipe? I am. Casing, which, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I need, how many of these do I need? Oh, I need 8? Wait, what are they going into? Why do I need so many? I'm sure at some point when I did this math, it made sense. Oh, the turbo motors are using most of them. Got it. Okay, so, yep, 4. So, copy it and paste it. And bam. Top floor has the buildings placed and recipes and absolutely nothing else done for it, because there are so many floors I need to belt up before I can even belt up that floor. Oh, like I've done most? No, I haven't. I've placed a bunch of it. I haven't even put the actual belts in between any of it, really. Oh, man. Did I even finish? I didn't even finish, did I? Oh, probably because I'm trying to figure out which one's which. Oh. This is... Let's see, now why are there just these ones missing? Oh, these are all different. machines and stuff, huh? I don't really feel like trying to figure that out right now. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to do before. I think I might take a break before I have to dig into all that belting. I was actually kind of... As you progress in the game, it gets to be like a job. Kind of. I obviously don't want it to feel too much like a job, although I guess it's kind of hard. Why do I have so many crates on my map? Lame. I'm gonna have to go clean those up. Yeah, I think it's important for it not to end up feeling like a job. And I have a feeling that if I decide to like dig in and start doing this belting right now, then it's gonna feel like a job. So I think I'm gonna take a break and come back to belting refreshed and be a little bit more excited for it. So I've done it before where I use Mark V for everything, and it does simplify it where you only need one thing for belts, which is pretty nice and easy. The only thing that concerns me is I just don't have, 5 years ago, I think my PC was, not the very top of the line, but it was a really good computer 5 years ago, and it's just obviously not as good anymore. And if I use Mark V for everything, I think it actually is more taxing on my computer. So I'm trying to use the belts that are appropriate for whatever it's being transported as just a kind of rule of thumb. And to be honest, I just think it looks better. And just that's like a personal preference thing. If there's only like, especially when you get to like the top, those machines at the top where they're only making, 2 a minute. 2 a minute doesn't even come close to filling up the Mark I belts. And if you use anything else, you'll just like never see any items on the belt. They'll just shoot by so fast. So I can usually gauge whether the belt has the right amount of items or not, but only if it's like the right speed. So would it be better to just make the blueprints for all machines made up with belts? It will save you some time. The only thing to keep in mind with blueprints with belts and pipes and railroads, you can't just connect them with a blueprint, if that makes sense. So like if I had a blueprint section that was, just a stretch of 4, if I tried to lay that blueprint next to another one, none of them would actually be connected together. It's kind of weird, but you have to like manually connect both belts and pipes. The only exception is when you're using like the floor holes and the lifts and stuff. Like so within a blueprint, the belts will obviously work. But let me just get up to the top so I can place it down. So if I just gonna let this save. So even something as like simple as you would think would work, as like say you did this, right? And then you even deleted like the end ones. If you create the floors with the elevators and belts also. So anything like within the blueprint is going to work. So like, yeah, since I put these lifts in the floor hole in this blueprint, and those will work no problem. Just when I'm talking about, just to keep in mind, or when you're doing it. So like, say you had something like this, you know, or obviously way more complex. But if I place this, and then even if I use the blueprint mode and I try to line this up and I do this, none of these belts are actually connected with each other. Even though it looks like it should. Like, there's no reason why this wouldn't work. But if I... Let's see, wait, which way are these? Oh, I went the wrong way. We'll go this way then. So if I put something in here... Of course I didn't line this up. So even if I upgrade it so it moves a little bit faster, it's just going to stop when it gets to the next blueprint, because yeah, that's where the blueprints are. So like, having the... Oh, that's funny. It makes it so it's not a blueprint anymore. But anything that you have within the blueprint will absolutely work. It's just make sure you don't try to... Because I know that there's a lot of like, do a whole factory in one click kind of blueprints out there, and then they'll like use these, and then like that's how you get the stuff in or out, as like having this built in, which is, I think it's great. It's just you can't slam certain things next to each other and they'll just work. So I like to do it as like each machine is separate, which for manufacturers is a horrible example, but like for constructors or smelters, like you could easily fit... I one totally got spot. You can easily fit, you know, you could fit like 6 if I space this out right. And if you did something like this, oh yeah, I guess you could fit 8, can't you? If you did something like this, and then you have the splitters with all of the belts, whenever you place that blueprint, it'll absolutely work. And then same with the floors and the elevators and all that jazz. I really, really like using the blueprint. I just tend not to make the bigger blueprints where you have, you know, 8 constructors. There's definitely a place for it. That is a good question. I think... No, definitely not. I think I've only finished nutrients and power slugs. I have spiders turned off, so I guess if I ever want to complete this, I'll have to turn it off. I just need to go kill some more stuff. Caterium. Oh, smokeless powder. I kind of forgot about that. Oh, I guess I could just turn this in. Even though I already have supercomputers unlocked, which feels like they should probably change that in the game. it's really weird when there's things that are in two places where you can unlock it in the MAM and you can unlock it through the normal milestones. It feels like that was possibly not intended. But programmable splitters, I super rarely use, but eventually I'll obviously want to unlock them. These I actually really do want to unlock. These are really cool. They'll never provide a lot. I think if you run around and you place it on every single one that you can, it still only gives you like 4 or 4,500 megawatts on average. So I just have a couple random ones left. I'm actually kind of surprised I haven't unlocked those. Quartz. Oh yeah, just that one. Oh, and then sulfur is where I have the most, which is probably the one that has the most valuable. I could get 6 more inventory slots. I just haven't done any of these. Mainly because they all require the smokeless powder, and I just haven't gotten around to doing that. I think what I really want to do is create like a whole factory that's just going to do weapons. Hey, Ruby Anderson. I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing today? What? What is that? I'm sure I built it. Oh! I never remember now. It just looks like it's floating there. But unless things have gone wrong, we should have our little doggo friend. Thanks, Jimbo. Hey, I never go kill things. He's a vicious guy. Bringing me alien remains. You're good? Good. Good to hear. Since how long have I been streaming? That is a great question. Consistently? Like 2 weeks. I streamed, 6-9 months ago a handful of times, but it's just for
Ruby
fun.
Anderson 246 just followed.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. So let's just drop off the remains. Anything else I don't want? Well, I sure don't make a schedule and keep to it or anything like that, but I would say, I put the days in my stream. This is day 9, and I don't know. It's probably been over. I guess it's been over 2 weeks, but 2 or 3, somewhere in there. Aw, thanks for the follow. Let's see. So, I should take more casing over there just to get myself a few more of the fused modular frames. Just to have it. I do not have a lot of space. My favorite game genre? That's actually pretty tough. I would say, like, like an easy answer would be factory games, because I probably have the most hours played in Satisfactory. And I have played a few other other factory games. But as a genre, I would actually probably say roguelikes. Roguelites and likes. Yeah, I'm a big fan of them. All right, peace out, Tesla. I hope you have a wonderful day. Good luck with your aluminum adventures. Sure. You're thinking about getting into Satisfactory? I highly recommend it. I think it's a great game. It was probably the quickest to 100 hours that I've played of a game. It was definitely a game where I got it and I started playing probably like, I don't know, in the early like late afternoon. Start playing at like 5 or 6 in the afternoon, and I probably stopped playing that first session at like 6 or 7 the next morning. I stayed up all night playing this game, and yeah, I fell in love. It scratches that math lizard part of my brain where I actually want to crunch numbers for some reason. I'm from California, United States. And so, yeah, I really like it, mainly because it kind of gives you the freedom to do, if you really want to just do factory stuff, like you just want to make epic factories, like you can absolutely do it. Or if you want to spend a lot of time on making it just look like a really cool, really badass factory more than the content it's producing. And yeah, it just gives you a lot of those options. From the US too. Very cool. Let's see. Oh, why is that tile? There we go. Do I want to check out some of your work? Well, if you're like most artists I know, you post your stuff on Twitter. So by all means, if you want, you can follow me on Twitter, and I'm sure I'll take a look at your page and stalk you back, that sort of a thing. But currently I'm not in the market for any of that sort of stuff, if that's what you were implying. Discord? Nah, no thanks. I try not to use that stuff too much. I just kind of browse Twitter every once in a while. That, and I just don't want anybody to really send me anything, so it's much easier if I can just look at your work instead of being sent something, It's just safer. But I wish you luck. And, I think I might call it. I think this would be a good place to take a break, because the next on the docket is going to be a lot of belt work. I think that's really what I got to do, is bite the bullet and start doing all the belt work for that. And that's probably going to hurt my head. But I think that is going to call it for today. So I want to say thank you for everybody that stopped by and chatted and hung out. And I am sure I will stream again soon. If not tomorrow, I'm sure it'll be the next day. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you all